few variations of props before we begin this pose. So you're going to spend a lot of time on your bum, so you want to get a soft blanket and just use it to pad your sitting bones, and also gives a very good alignment to the sacrum, once your sitting bones are all balanced. A second modification probably you may want to use is get a block, and then we're going to place this block between our thighs, because most people usually think that boat pose purely uses the abdominal muscles, but ideally you're also using the hip flexors. So place that block between your thighs, take it as high as you can, socially acceptable levels, and then you press it tight and then see whether you can come into the posture. So this one actually engages those hip muscles that will be able to keep you in this posture for a while. A third modification is probably the use of a strap. So straightening your legs is usually the end goal in this position, but it's not like a must. So usually it's often difficult for most people to straighten their legs. So in this case, you can get a strap and then bend your knees and then loop that strap under the soles of your feet, and then you grip the ends firmly with your hands, and then lean the torso back, and then press those feet firmly against the strap, and still see whether you can get that nice V shape between your thighs and your torso. So this is the kind of balance you want. You are not rounding your back, but you want to keep a very straight spine throughout this posture in full expression. So if your hamstrings are tight, make sure you bend your knees and just hold them. It's perfectly fine. So good job. So now let's get into the posture. So again, we start with our feet flat on the mat, spine is straight, sitting bones are engaged on the floor, and then bring your hands behind your knees, ideally just behind your lower quads, and then raise your feet up so that you can bring your shins to be parallel to the floor. And then you can either stay here, we call this half boat, or gently you can either hold or just relax your hands alongside your feet. Roughly you want them to be parallel to the floor, and then once you have this either bent or straightened, gaze up. Again, remember the thighs and the torso are creating a V, so you want to engage your core, suck the pit of your belly in. We stay here for 5 breaths. Inhale and exhale, and then engage, gently release, and then hug your knees into your chest. Now let's see whether you can bring plane to the posture. So come to low boat, and then engage in your core, come to high boat. Once again, low, and then high, 3 more to go. Come to low boat, and then high boat. Last one, low, and then high, and then release, and then hug your knees tightly to your chest, release that tension. And then you can try another variation of this posture by doing it in the prone position. So men, you want to adjust yourself accordingly. Before this, we go to protect those family jewels and come into reverse boat, where you support yourself using your pelvis, and then release and come into crocodile. Or better yet, see whether you can do the Ashtanga variation of this posture. We call this the both big toe pose. And then you're locking your big toes, and then you gaze up, and then eventually you get to straighten your legs. Feel that strong V, and then balancing on your sitting bones, and then release the posture. Namaste.